So I don't know what we're gonna build. So I thought we got friends that ask for helmet cases every now and then. So I thought we would just kind of run from scratch and come up with a helmet bag design. I don't know. I don't have any intention of producing these. We're just gonna build this and fine tune it, and then we'll figure it out from there.
Did you say you did a moto helmet case before?
Yeah, I did a few like motorcycle helmet cases. My buddy Shannon Babos has one of them. There's probably one or two out in the garage somewhere. But there's so much good stuff. Like people ask pretty frequently actually for like motorcycle helmet bags. But you can get something on the market for 50, $60. Like if we built that thing, it would be hundreds of dollars for it even to be worth us to touch it. So it's a very finite market. Um, and I don't know, guys ask all the time, like motorcycle bags, and that market out there is already they're calibrated very low price on a lot of that stuff. There's a company, I can't remember the name of them, that makes like adventure bike stuff that's really nice, and their bags are shit. I think their set of bags is like $1,400, and it's badass. And the materials and stuff they're using, like I couldn't do better than what they're doing, so why would we mess with it? So we're just gonna take this and just do a case. I'm really not even sure what it's going to look like other than I think we're going to do 16 inches. 16 comes to about here. That gives us a little extra room. We can probably put a wall in there that's movable so you can take it in or take it out, whether you want to have your nods on or have your nods off. Or, you know, I don't know. We'll see. We'll just kind of go from there and see what we do. This will save us a couple minutes and that we don't have to figure out all of the dimensions. We'll just take, we know width wise what we want, so I just got to figure out kind of which piece is which to start with here. I need a handwriting person or a calligraphy person that just takes all of my bullshit and transfers it to where I can read it later, because I usually can't read any of my shit later.
A poet. We need a poet.
Or just a sign twirler.
That'll work too.
Do the same thing.
We could get that at like any dentist office.
The guy that'll twirl the sign at the end of the driveway would definitely, but I mean, he'd have to be able to write. I feel like a lot of sign twirlers probably can't write. This fits in here as it is, but it's kind of, oh yeah, I think we probably want another inch in here, probably. So
do you add 2 inches if you think you need an inch?
depends where it is. It's already compensated for where we come into the seam usually for the allotment of what's sewn inside. So no, I don't need to add 2 inches to this. I can just add 1 inch to one of these, which will get this 1 inch higher, and then we'll sew it in the same manner still. So like right now we're at 3.5 here, 3.5 here. So I'm just gonna keep one at 3.5, and I'll do the other one at 4.5. The new one, which will, instead of doing two at 3.5, we'll do one at 4.5. But to come and chop off here, I'm gonna have to build it once or twice till we get it where we want it. Because we know we're coming, we want this to be 16, so it'll really probably be 17, 18. Oh, yeah, I guess that's what I already have here, so. We said 16, right, when we were
That's what we were saying.
started messing with this. So we want to come to here. Grab some web. Did you see the 400-pound wrapper chick?
I did. I saw that. The Lyft driver
Yeah.
refused.
It's like, you can't fuck my car up.
I didn't know she was a rapper until you sent me that video.
No, I didn't know that bitch existed. Nobody knew that bitch existed until she seemed lift. That's probably, and maybe that's the thing, right? If you can get some mass publicity, now people are clicking on her bullshit. Even to make fun of her, she's still getting click through and recognition. You can get these squares in, you'll see them a lot of times in their aluminum. Don't buy the aluminum one. You want the metal one, because you can kill a man better with the metal one, but it just holds it in place a lot better. And then once we know this square, this rectangle is good, now we don't have to do all the sides. I can just go 10 here, 18 here, because we know the edge is good. See any of the RFK hearings?
No.
Confirmation hearing?
Mm-mm.
They're giving him all this shit about how he's not qualified to be the head of Human Health Services. And I kept waiting. I'm like, why don't one of you motherfuckers say you just had a dude pretending to be a woman who is obesely fucking overweight as the head of Health Human Services, who had no fucking qualifications whatsoever. Like, and you're giving me shit about this?
I haven't seen any of his stuff.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
The
I've
Levine
seen
chick
her
or whatever. Dude.
on just Instagram.
Yeah.
What happened with that, anything else on the helicopter plane?
A lot. There's a lot of chatter, but you don't really know what's what.
Yeah.
At the same time, like, they just showed all these patents where they've been able to remote control these helicopters. They were using them to drop water on fires, remote control, and in San Diego and California. And then there's footage because there's cameras everywhere there. It's like the most controlled airspace in the entire fucking world. Like, this doesn't happen here. And then that helicopter, they're saying it took off. It was a CIA helicopter, and then they were saying it took off from a Saudi embassy. It had followed this flight path that followed the whole interstate, came across the river, and then came back. There's footage where it almost collided with like 3 other airplanes, apparently. So you'll never, whatever the truth is, you're never gonna fucking know. If they're just fucking throwing this at you,
Yeah.
it's so that you're paying attention to this and not this. What other aircraft crashed at the same time? Who fucking knows?
I was just sitting there thinking, I don't know much about helicopters, but I don't think I would. I think I'd just not crash into a plane if I was driving, like flying the helicopter.
Well, they're flying under night vision apparently too, and then Trump said it was a continuity of government flight, like training. So who fucking knows, man? I'm glad I don't know who it was. There was a dude on the live last night said that he actually, a guy he works with, went to school with one of the pilots on board the helicopter. And that dude said also, he's like, I used to fly once a month to, not Iron Mountain, I can't remember where he said, but he's like, I took those airplane flights once a month off of those type of planes, and that flight path right there. And who knows? That's a dude on the internet. Who knows who you're really fucking talking to? This will be the bottom. This will be the front or back. I'm going to look at this and go, what's B? I can't even read it. 40. Oh, I just fucked this up. This needs to be 40 by 4.5. Isaac's too chattery over there, throwing me off. What are you making?
Combat cocks.
Don't cut those out of those big pieces. Use little scrap for that. I already told you that.
Yeah.
You can use those big pieces for all kinds of shit. You know what you're cutting up right now? Those look like bodies for medium clothes bags.
Yeah, it could be.
The easy way is never the right way.
Now, are we gonna remember this when you're cutting it in just a second?
No, I'm gonna actually use a different color. That's why. No, I'm going to actually separate it right now so I don't have to remember it. Oh, this one comes out perfect. It doesn't have to. It actually is the math we need.
I like the confidence.
I'm going to make it loud.
Make it loud.
It won't. The scissors are too sharp. Isaac's girlfriend doesn't let him have friends.
She doesn't.
Why not?
Not allowed. I'm not allowed
Because
to leave
she's
the house.
make-believe on the internet.
Yeah. She doesn't go to this school.
Are you gonna grow up to be one of those guys that marries like a AI doll?
You,
They have
You know,
good-looking vaginas. Like, did you
they're
see
getting
that
pre-
the other
they're
day?
getting pretty realistic, man. They're getting, you know.
I mean, compared to the ones he's seen on the internet, they're pretty realistic.
Put Chat GPT.
Have you ever
4.0
actually
into
seen
one?
a vagina in real life? You can say no. So that's a solid maybe box. Just check maybe. Not, maybe not. Man, I know I'm forgetting something here. It can't be this simple. We gotta bedazzle it. That's where it gets real fucking complicated. What do you think? Red liner inside here? The
Yep.
sample?
People seem to like the red with it.
It's heavy. It's not heavy, it's just awkward. Whenever they're running out towards the end of a roll, I always take the little rolls and stick them back there so I don't have to, when I work on the weekends or in the evening, I don't have to lug rolls around that way. I keep all their small ends. If we need to, yeah, we'll do it the same way.
Out of all the rifle cases, the people want the multicam black one the most with the red lining.
Man, they're all over the place. I've got about 30 guys that have said, yeah, I want one. But I haven't taken any prepayment on them. So I've got, I think, 9 built already. And then Cody's got, I think I've got another 6 cut. So, like, I've got dudes everywhere. I got a dude that's wants a gray coyote one to match a custom diaper bag we did. I've got a couple dudes asking about Desert Tiger, which I haven't built any of. Actually, I think Cody cut one. And then the Tiger Stripe. As soon as guys saw that, 3 other dudes wanted Tiger Stripe. And then I've got 4 or 5 dudes that want the multicam black with red inside. And then I've got dudes that want fucking every other color. OD black and coyote, and there's guys that want solid black, so.
What color do you usually do with tiger stripe?
It could be black. Like, I like the black on it just because it contrasts. Guys probably aren't using Tiger Stripe for like a real shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you were, I'd probably. I mean, there's already a lot of black in Tiger Stripe, but you could put green on it. Looks good with orange.
Yeah, I saw that bag. Was it a bag that you made with it with orange in it?
We did a few things. We did like tool rolls.
Is the liner usually the same exact size as the other cuts?
Depends which pieces it is and whether I'm sewing them in or if I'm fabricating a pocket, so we put the foam in afterwards. Like, then everything's super easy until you put the foam in it. And if you look at a lot of box type bags that have padding in them, they're kind of sloppy because they cut the foam smaller or cut the fabric larger so that they can kind of push it over while they're sewing it. It's very difficult to sew it with those pieces of foam in there and then catch that line and keep it all together. So a lot of times I'll fabricate it so there's no foam, and then we'll make the foam basically in an encased, and that'll Velcro to the walls, just like that's what happened in the rifle bag. Like sewing this bag together is no big deal until you put the foam in here. As soon as you put, like, I'll sew 3 sides, and this piece will be open, and then I'll do the opposite so that this end over here is open. Sewing the bag together, super easy. It takes longer, once the foam's in here, it takes longer to close this edge than to sew all the rest of all 3 sides. So once that foam's in there, you're starting to fight it, especially with foam here and foam here. So you've only got, this is your seam right here. I'm sewing literally 1/4 inch from the edge. And while it looks like this is a lot, it's not
really
much at
once it's
all,
underneath the
because you're
actual
fighting
metal.
the edge of the sewing machine and you're fighting the bed of the sewing machine. And I've actually started even stapling them together to kind of hold them in place a little bit. That seems to help a little bit.
Yeah, the full build video will come out probably Saturday.
Did I staple it in
And
that?
you stapled one
That's the
one
first,
part of it.
That's the first time I ever did that, was on that video, and I've been doing it since. Like when I looked at like old Eagle rifle cases and Assault Systems rifle cases and all that stuff, they were always just, there was no shape to them. You put a gun in there, and it hang kind of like a tennis racket bag, but they're all fucking super loose, and I didn't want that. That's why we never built a rifle case for the longest time. So this will be the bottom, which I don't have here. I need one in multicam black. And then these will be the sides. The side and the top, basically.
And then one's just an inch longer to allow for that.
This will set this way, and then this will come around this way, and there will be a zipper here. And then this is the other half of that zipper. So we're going to make this so when it's sitting, it clamshells open. But this won't have any foam. This will cover, that clamshell will come over a sleeve inside that has the foam. So the top will have foam, the bottom will have foam. There will be foam on all 4 sides here, but this will open up, basically exposing a foam box inside. So you'll get plenty of protection in here, but it's built in a manner that we can build it, but it also will have some shape and structure to it. I think. We'll see. And even, it won't be how the final one is if we ever build these. But we can auction this off or give it to a friend or do whatever with it. Typically, you or Jeff usually want all that shit. And this is the same way, like, guys are like, build a case for a drone. This is the exact same thing I would do for a drone.
Yeah, I was about to, literally was going to say, this would be like the case you would want to put in a drone to where you wouldn't have to take it apart, and you can just throw it in there.
Which I mean, maybe some guys have some drones that are bigger than my stuff, but like my DJIs, even my bigger DJI stuff, not my minis, the wings, all the motor arms move.
I think people are just more careful with it than you are. You like to just,
maybe,
but again,
we've broke a lot of them, like one day out, we've broke them.
Yeah, but yours never break sitting around in a tool bag. They're always breaking, hitting a light pole.
Well, I fly them into shit. Yeah. I fly them inside buildings, and I especially fly them into open windows on buildings, like to see, how to get in the building a lot of times.
Or into water.
Underwater, yeah. But that drone that went underwater is still the drone I'm running right now. Like that's the longest I've ever had a drone, and that's last Christmas, this Christmas to now. And like that first week we had it, I was trying to land on the pond next to those ducks, and it the light hitting it, I thought it was frozen, and it wasn't. It went underwater. And I'm like, holy shit! All of a sudden, I'm looking at green water, and brought it, and it flew back up. I was able to power it right back up out of the water, and it didn't fly the rest of the night. I tried to, but we brought it home, set it on front of a fan, and the next morning it worked.
Did you cut the bottom and
No.
melt it in?
Yeah, and I know I've got some other shit I need. Ooh, I got these way fucked up. No, I don't. Man, I feel like I'm forgetting something here. It's just a pocket, and foam will slide inside here and in both of these. These are where the piece that comes up and around with the zipper, those will lock into here, and that will make the square or the box or the rectangle.
So will the outer edge have loop Velcro?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's exactly what we're gonna do. And I just went off of this because it was simple to do this, but we actually I might on the next one make this even taller so the box is bigger where the lid lifts up. We'll see how we like it once we have this on here. This man back here is a sewing machine mechanic, and he'll go from state to state to state, and there's not a lot of them dudes, and there's a lot of need for them dudes. If you went and learned how to just tech on machines, you would never be out of work. Ray, what's the youngest sewing machine mechanic you know?
I don't even know it. Them boys at Carhartt, but I told they're probably in their 40s.
40s? There ain't no like
I
18.
told them about you. I said, you go, cause some of them they live right here in Camden. But
We've never been able to get a Carhartt tech to come in here. I don't know why. Collier has a kid working out there that's supposed to be like 18 or 19. Yeah.
I knew they had. I talked to one of them boys that he had hired. I used to go to a plant in Alabama, a mattress plant, and he lived there somewhere. I can't remember the name of that town.
Have you been in Collier? You ever been there?
No.
We're gonna go out there and just meet them. We'll go out there and just say hi and check it out. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
It's just dying breed, man. There's nobody.
Yeah, right, especially in a bigger place, I would order from like him or Henderson, not get it online, because they do have tech support a little bit if
Yeah.
you need it. You get stuff online.
All these kids that are like, I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
Go learn how to work on sewing machines, man. There's only 100 dudes in the United States that do it.
It's a lot tough. I've trained a lot of them, you know, and I had better luck training them in Mexico than I did here.
Yeah.
If they get into it, and I've had good car mechanics come in and try to do it, and I thought a sewing machine would be easy. But it's not. Now these are kind of slower and not, but you get into that more stuff going automatic. And
Yeah, that's why they have that saying.
Going
One's like a
5,000.
fine-tuned sewing machine. Yeah. Yeah, man.
If somebody says that car runs like a sewing machine, don't buy it. They always tear up.
Yeah, you're
there's not many of those guys.
I feel like there's not many mechanics in general now that just work on cars, that they can go to school and have to plug something into a computer.
Yeah, well, you have to now. Everything's computer. Even these sewing machines, when we have a problem with a motor, we don't mess with it. We just put a new motor on. We just took a computerized motor off of one of these machines and just put a normal plain ass motor on it.
Yeah, like that one over there we're gonna change.
Yeah.
They're just a regular motor.
Yep. It's sitting by the front door.
3 or 4 years ago, you could get them packages like that that do a lot of automatic stuff for about $900. But now, Juki bought Mitsubishi, and now they're about $1,800.
Yeah.
In
Same
a
same
couple of
thing.
years.
They just
Yeah,
put
I
less
mean-
in the market. Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. They started tariff on Canada Saturday. All those tariffs start.
Okay.
45% tax on anything coming in from Canada. Yeah. And the Canada and Mexico's 25%. There was a few others. All this shit's about to go up in price.
you know, I went to Mexico in '97. I stayed down there 5 years,
Where at?
around Durango, about 100 miles inside. Minimum wage was $18 a week.
A week.
That was a week, and that was a 9 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure it's went up now, but
Yeah, we went into Tijuana, Rosarito, Ensenada down there. Like Eagle Creek, they made nice luggage and shit. They were manufacturing down there. So we'd go down there just to buy sewing machines from those guys, that old plant. And we'd take them into Tijuana to get machines worked on when I would break them when I was learning how to sew. So we'd have to drive an hour to get it fixed. And you'd sew on it and it always worked. But as soon as you got it back into the United States, that motherfucker never worked right.
I don't guarantee him. I could just guarantee I'll come back.
Well, I don't ever mind him coming back. One day, we'll be a real shop and we'll get a double needle machine that'll do that.
I have a feeling you still wouldn't use it.
I wouldn't use it. I have one over there. By the time I learned to use it, I could have already done the job. You see where I went off?
No.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right off. It's impressive when it goes fast, but it's faster to go slow. This is the taller side, this is the longer side, this is the shorter side. We're about to find out how off this math is. Probably should put the zipper pulls in here. There's many times when I've built some shit, got it all the way together, and there was no way to open it. We'll get some zipper pulls. They make a repair zipper pull that is two pieces. I've never seen one. Oh man, found it. They make one that's like two pieces that you pop in, and it kind of has like a little screw that screws down to like a repair piece. I've never seen one though, because you're kind of fucked if your zipper, like on a jacket or something, if your zipper goes out. And they do have like little pieces that you can, metal teeth that you can clamp back onto the track, but I've never had any luck using them. Somebody like Justin Souders probably could make it work.
A very meticulous, weird one.
I buy broken clothing and send it to Justin, and I'm like, here, fix this. That's my weekend hobby, is just going around and buying broken stuff
To send us out.
to send to Justin. I'm like, I just thought you were probably bored and needed something to do.
Figured you needed a break from painting and you could just...
When you're painting like oil paint, there's a difference between acrylic oil and oil painting, acrylic and oil. And I only know really nothing at all about what I'm about to say. But oil painting takes a long time to cure, whereas acrylic, you can paint on it and then I think you can come back the next day or something and paint back over it. Is that correct? Is
I
that,
think so.
hear that squeak?
Mm-hmm.
I've been dumping oil on this. I don't know what it is. I don't know if we should put this all the way together before we find out it doesn't work. It's usually faster to just cut another one and resew one than to try to correct one.
What in the world is that?
Hold on. Are you filming it?
Mm-hmm. Look close to my ween. But we did get it.
Huh?
You got it.
Yeah.
He's dead right there.
Yeah. It usually disintegrates them.
Pretty close.
Dude, we were frozen last week, and now there's fucking horseflies flying around. It's so warm outside.
It was like 60 yesterday.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I think it's even warmer today. I was outside with just a t-shirt this morning. And that's what always happens though. People are like, I'm gonna go ahead and put my garden in, and then we have
You get a snow.
another month of winter. Ah, shit. See? Forgot to put the Velcro in here. Alright, let's put the Velcro in here. Normally, I would have sewn it on here while it was flat, and it would sew down into this seam. I get 3 inches on here. And I don't think I need any right here, but we're going to go ahead and put it on there anyways in case we decide we want to use it. I know how long it needs to be. I just don't know how long this piece is going to be. And if nothing else, it'll stiffen this piece, it'll structure this. if you've got some stuff that you need to make stiffer and you're not sure how to do it, you could take hook Velcro especially and sew it in between two pieces of material and it'll make it pretty stiff. Nobody has to know what you even put in there. Make sure you sew through those zipper pulls.
Usually, since you tuck it in the seams, is that just to reinforce it?
No, it's just because it's cleaner.
Gotcha.
You just don't have this edge here.
Yeah, that can grab on and
Yeah,
everything.
it's just a lot cleaner. It's also easier when it's flat. The more raw edges that you can conceal, the less issues you're going to have. Guys will send stuff in or send you pictures. They're like, hey, is this a problem? And it's not at all. But if it's concealed, it can never fray. And this zipper here is on Cordura, so it's a step. Like you can feel it. It's very visible. And this will run. You can push this right against it, and it'll stay in place. I keep second guessing. I've got 40 inches on this piece, and I'm like, there's no way this can be 40. But I guess it can, because 16 and 16, that's 32, 42, 52.
You're the math man. I don't know.
Huh?
You're the math man. I don't know.
I just count like this. Remember when your fourth grade teacher told you you're not always going to have a calculator? Boy, wasn't she full of shit.
Yep. Even then, you could have just carried it around in your pocket. It doesn't matter.
Well, we had like the calculator watches.
Yeah.
That's about how it's going to go right there. What do we got to do?
Find center.
Find the center. How do we find the center? Complicated math equations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to come back and double stitch that, but I don't want it double stitched right now. We're not going to lock anything in here yet.
You like just building the prototypes with single stitch?
Yeah, in case we got to pull them apart for some reason. I usually forget and sew the shit out of them. And then anytime you got to cut it apart, you run the risk of slicing it. We'll know here though in a minute if this is all fitting right. Is that double needle run? Is that double needle run?
Yes.
Is it perfect now? See, there I am going back double needle.
Thread?
Did you know I saw a thread?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because you heard it or because you saw it?
I heard the shift in it, and then I also can see when it leaves that line of thread.
That's what the kid said. He goes, I think I can sew because I watched all the videos. I said, you probably can.
I mean, I'm sure it's different from like sitting down and actually getting behind it and figuring out the mechanics of hand tension and just every bit of it, but it definitely helps being able to see and go, oh, okay, I know every time you take your scissors, you pull the thread out, you move the thread this way, and
Yeah, he'll be way ahead of where I was, that's for sure. Just backflashed in there. What's up? You're back. Is lunch here? Is that what you're telling me? I like your hair. I like your boobs. Squeak, 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 squeak.
how many bobbins do we end up using on the rifle case? Like 8
I don't know.
or 9?
It was less than I thought we'd use a lot more, really. We could make it more expensive. We could definitely add some bullshit onto it. Up the level of difficulty.
Do people ever ask for like outside pockets?
We don't let them typically. If you let them, they will ask for all kinds of fucking crazy shit. But I mean, I'm busy enough. I have more work than I can handle building just what we build, you know.
And the other thing is like the internal size is so big with Velcro everywhere, like you don't need outside pockets.
And they don't take into consideration either that you've got 2 rifles inside there that are probably pushing 10 pounds apiece. Like guns nowadays, you know, you start with a gun that by the time you add all the bullshit onto it, you've doubled the weight.
Yeah.
And you're going to put 2 of those rifles in there.
And then if you have pockets on the outside, you're just gonna be throwing shit in it all the time.
Yeah. We used to just wrap rifles in beach towels, and we put 5 or 6 of them in a
Double bag.
yeah, in a large clothes bag. Plus, that way you can, when they're hot, you can wrap them up, and they're not like. Every now and then they would smoke one of the towels, you know. But if you get a hot barrel or a suppressor or something, it's gonna melt the shit out of this stuff.
Yeah.
They're gonna fit. I cannot fucking believe that. It actually fit perfectly. I was just guessing on that first number too. Perfect. All right, let's go eat. It's really bothering me. Let me cut those off. Ninjas don't jingle. Alright, we're about to make it a lot harder now. Now that the foam is inside there. Let's try this side first. Gotta catch all three pieces here. We've got some extra room here, but once we have it sewn, we'll sew back around it and tighten the seam up, which will make the foam tighter. We have some extra room here to work this. Applying pressure back here against this other seam of that screw will line it up. Don't be lifting that thing, man. Have the kid do it when you need to move that motor. So now we'll come back and catch this one because it's already sewn closed. This one will be even easier.
May have to catch the two fabrics.
Now I can kind of shift that foam, push it back that way. I don't know how I got so lucky with this one. This one's way easier than doing those rifles. It's smaller too, though.
It was like perfectly cut, lined up.
Exactly like the most perfect that it's ever been first time strike. Yeah, it just worked. Lost that thread. That light is really fucking me up where it is.
You want to move it?
No.
You can.
No. What would I have to talk about then?
I know. If you don't have any adversity, would you really even be sewing right now?
I like to go through and take all my needles out, put them in a vise, and smack them with a hammer first.
That's what I was thinking.
Dull
and
them
then,
out.
like, every little bit of thread, you kind of take a lighter and burn it a little bit.
So it won't go
just
through
so
the needle.
It snaps through.
Yeah.
Before I leave, I de-oil your machine.
De-oil.
Yeah.
Take the machine apart, run it to a solvent tank, put it
Yep.
back together.
Mm-hmm.
I like to put sand where
Oh,
all
yeah.
the oil ports are.
Little spray paint in there.
Alright, so there's that. Now it gets a little more difficult. We'll put the foam in this bottom piece here. Actually, we can go ahead and put the other couple sides on here before we do this. I don't think it matters. See how it wants to just step down? It
Yeah.
doesn't want to.
Stay up.
Yeah, that's usually where I'll staple them.
You need your own stapler.
I have one. It's
A
carbon
black and red
fiber.
one?
This one was closer.
Does carbon fiber make it staple faster?
No, but if you drop it, well, I don't know. It's epoxy. I'm trying to pull this where you can see it, but it's not cooperating. It does not want to go there.
Like you were saying earlier, that's just kind of like the outside stitch. If you want to tighten it up, you're doing one on the inside of it. And
Yeah,
you
we
double
can-
it up.
We can put another line inside here and here, and that'll really lock it in place. But you'll see that once we sew the other pieces on and we roll it, it kind of does that on
Does
its
it
own.
for you?
Yeah. But we always can go back and add more if we need to tighten it up. But being the first one, until we have it all the way together, I'm not going to do that. And then we have to figure too, like, are we going to put other pockets on here? Are we going to put Velcro here? How are we going to carry it? What kind of handle are we going to put on here? Will it have a shoulder strap? But we'll get this together and see if the numbers even work when we do all the other shit. We might stick that helmet in here and be like, man, this thing's way too big, or it doesn't even fit. We're pretty close to knowing if this is going to work, or if we have to make any changes. I'm like, where do I even need to sew this? Here it is. Where were we sewing? I'm running extra lines in this, I don't need to. I need to make sure it's good first. It's getting, everything's in the way of each other.
We should try to staple an entire bag together one day.
It wouldn't stay. As soon as you went to turn it inside out, it would all just pop apart. I did have a dude that sent me an armor carrier, like a chest rig he'd made out of burlap, and it was all stapled together. It was all starch, so it's super stiff, but he made the mag pouches and the whole deal out of burlap. I still have it somewhere. It's fucking like the best. Because normally I'm like, send me a drawing so I can kind of get an idea of what you're looking for. He fabricated this whole thing. It's pretty cool. All right, now it's together. The bottom is foamed. The front and back, or the big sides, are foamed. Now we have to figure out how to do the rest of this, where it's going to sit. Because it wants to sit like this, like a rifle case, but this is not how it's going to sit. It's going to sit like this. So really, I probably need to move this zipper 2 inches this way, so it ends up being like this, but we'll get an idea. Come on. It's the tall side. This is the tall side. So with the mount down, you're about here. This is going to foam out, and the foam's going to square this when we make that sleeve. This is going to be more rigid. And then I think Velcro needs to go across here. That way you can put a padded divider in here that would hold this in place, and then you have a compartment here also, but that way you could limit any shift that's inside here.
Yeah.
So height wise, we're probably bigger than we need to be. Although it just touches, it is touching flat, so next thing we'll do is build the foam around. Okay. This might probably be a lot easier to build it in 2 pieces. Do 2 pieces, or do we want to do 1 piece that we fold in half?
Which one makes it easier?
It depends on what you've already cut on the roll too. You can do smaller pieces on a lot of other area. So right now, as it sits, we're going to take these, hem them all the way around, put them together. Whereas had I left it bigger, we could have just folded it in half, slid the foam in. Probably would have been a little cleaner at the top without having that seam there, but we'll see. We'll get these together and then go from there. just try this. You gotta remember to put that Velcro on here. I was about to start sewing it and not have the Velcro on there. This is useless without it. Alright, let's figure out what size Velcro. What time did we start this project?
Hour and, well, no.
Like what time did we, because we don't have it all on video, so what time did we actually
Probably
start?
11.
I think 11?
Yeah.
What time is it now?
1:30.
I know you speed these up to make it look like I sew fast.
Always.
Can you speed it up so that I move faster and just don't worry about hitting the target. Just put it in afterwards.
I can do that.
Make it sound like I hit the
I
target.
can do it every time.
Isn't that how the gun tubers do it? Isn't
That's
that
how they all do it.
Is that how it is? Yeah, this would probably be cleaner if we just left it one piece instead of making two. Because I'm basically putting it back together what I cut apart anyways.
Basically folding it, making a sleeve out of it.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to make 4 pockets, 4 channels. Sewing the foam in and sewing through it would be good, but it always shifts really bad. You don't get a good looking product when you do that, at least I don't. About perfect.
So how do you make channels out of each of those? Are you sewing down?
I'm going to sew up, so each where that channel is will be the corner.
And it's just one solid piece of foam through the whole thing?
No, I'm going to put 4 separates.
Okay.
I would prefer to put one piece and sew it,
But
but
it's
it's going to shift. It's never going to
like
look
the war belt, just going to keep.
Yeah, it's not going to look good. And it also removes 90% of our staff that could actually produce it. I do want to shift all of this down though. I got 1 inch there, so I'm going to have a little bit to sew over here. We'll lock this and make this a box. So we'll go down in here.
Laser eye.
It's pretty good, man. I can walk past, just not even turn my head and know something's off by a 1/4 inch, or I can tell stuff's not, centered. All right, we'll channel this back up and we'll figure our thing out. You can cut both of these, but if you'll notice, I don't. I always cut top and bottom. Because if you cut them both, you'll have 2 little whiskers that you have to clean up later. I don't know, maybe you won't, but we do. When you guys starting to sew, a lot of times when you sew through hook, the hook will catch the thread and start to rip the thread. Especially if you're sewing with the hook down, you'll see it do it quite a bit. So the plan is to take these are the ends, and then this comes across, and I'm going to sew these, locking them together, and these are going to be full of foam. That's the plan. Alright, so here it is with the foam inside. I think we have enough room to close it, and then we'll close it up, and then we will Velcro this in place. I don't know that we even need to attach it. Well, no, we do need to attach it because there's no Velcro on that back piece that I forgot to put Velcro on. Had I put the Velcro on, we wouldn't have to, but we'll close it, basically make this box. Take this box and set it inside this box, which I don't want to do because it'll stick to the Velcro right now. And then you will put your helmet and whatever inside here. Now, I forgot to put the Velcro on this one also, to where we could put that divider wall, but
If it already worked, we wouldn't need to even make it work.
if it already worked, we wouldn't have to make it work.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not catching it. It's fucking really shifting. Velcro's catching on everything.
Yeah, you're gonna take, they're taking a look in the bottom here.
Let's try it from the other side. That foot over there's smaller.
It's gonna go inside. But I should be
See how it's shifting? It's
Yeah,
pushing it
pulls
up.
off.
It's way off. Which maybe doesn't matter. You won't see it. But
Does it just have to be the foam smaller?
yeah, but that leaves dead area. This piece of foam here is big.
What I did yesterday is I put my lid on them, and then over here, no more.
Don't cut all the way through this or you'll scratch the shit out of your table.
And then this one's your zipper in, I'll make the zipper for you. And then face the left.
Just that little bit changed it a lot.
Yeah.
Let's try and see if it fits. Man, there's a lot of Velcro this thing wants to stick to. Ideally, there would be Velcro on that wall too, which was the first thing I forgot. And there it goes. I think that'll work, man. Even if we had this Velcro with just 2 Velcro tabs, that would hold that nice.
Yeah.
That'll give it some shape. This will kind of come over this. Pull these staples out of here without stabbing the shit out of myself. Now how do we carry it? We can put handles right here and just carry it this way, and when you open it, you just pop it back, I guess. This will hold into place a lot better once that other piece of Velcro is on there. And then that'll sit in there. We'll build a little divider shelf so you can limit this sliding around. Height-wise, this will actually touch that. And I think that's about it. Let me put some poles on here so we can open the poles.
What are those?
Pliers to pull all these damn staples out of here I left in here. I think furniture has a lot of staples in it.
Yeah.
I think staples actually holds a lot of furniture together.
Those are like those upholstery staples, right? They're like giant.
Yeah, and brads,
Yeah.
and like the thumbtacks, the
Mhm.
giant thumbtacks. Probably need some kind of strap across too. We can add that though. Now we got to build it all over again so that it's correct. I don't know. I think we bring this up even higher. I think we have this close up.
Yeah, so this being higher makes it to
Mhm.
where it just opens easy at the top.
Well, not only does it open easy at the top, you don't have to fight these corners to flip it.
Yeah.
But it also
Keeps that more
secures
rigid.
this. We'd put another piece of Velcro. It would make this whole thing Velcro. It would just be more uniform. It'd be more one-pieced. But it's close. I mean, the concept obviously works, which, I mean, we knew it did because of the rifle case, but... And do we put more pockets? Do we put... What do we put on here, you know? Do we put patches? Do we put 2 big billowed pockets on here? I don't know. Let's get it to work first.
Yeah.
Let's get it to work first. We're close. We're like 95% right now. Now we got to rebuild it, and we'll do a full build video on it.
You just freehanding this?
Freehand, man. I freehand everything. What are you talking about? This is similar to a shoulder strap on the LBVs.
Okay.
Now we gotta sew it on.
A scale from hard to hard, how hard is it going to be?
To put these on?
Yep.
Wow. They might not come out mirror image of each other, but they'll work. Not exactly how I would normally put a handle on, but it'll get it in place and we'll be able to see if it works. This is that machine that it'll rip the thread out of there because this little tensioner piece isn't functioning properly. It's a little $1 piece. I didn't even know that was part of the machine for the first 20 years we were doing this shit. I never had a machine that worked properly. See, I would prefer to have something in here that makes this way more rigid, like a piece of
Yeah.
scuba webbing or something. Doesn't need it, but at least we'll get a handle on this somehow. Where'd that other handle
I
go?
don't know. Did you bring it over here?
I thought I did. Is it on the floor down there?
Yeah.
Man, it's hot in here.
It is. Very hot.
Not my favorite, but it'll work. Alright, let's see if we can get a piece of Velcro in this across the back. Where else did I say? On that divider.
Yeah. So basically you have to slide the whole thing in under the foot.
See how it wants to shift? It's
Yeah.
shifting everything already. And this foot doesn't go up very high. I don't think I'm going to put it on there.
Yeah.
If we start doing this, it's going to push everything this
Yeah,
way.
it's just gonna be puckered up
Yeah.
everywhere.
And those bigger machines might do better with it, but whatever we do with this, it'll still function.
Yeah.
It just won't be. All right, let me make my additions to the cutlass, and we'll build a real one.